Hello you guys, and welcome to day 5 of the vlog. We officially made it through the first week. It is currently after school. I think it's going to be a good indicator how together I am on a particular day, depending on when I start vlogging. I know that this morning I got to school a little bit later since I did not carpool, so I usually sleep in a tiny bit later on those days. And then during our lunch break, as well as during plan, I was prepping some seating charts and also just setting up my tech for the rest of the lesson. And fortunately, there were no problems, so I should have set up the tech a little earlier and didn't, so at least it's all taken care of now. But I am in that really like super happy Friday mode, but it's not because it's a Friday. I mean, I do love the weekend. I get to sleep more, just having more time, and especially the weather should be nice at least the start of the weekend. But it's more so along the lines of just, I'm feeling really happy with how this week went, and today was phenomenal too. I had such a fun time with the activities with the students. We did the Truths and Lies activity, both with my version and with the students' version, and that was really fun. I do have plenty of those for the weekend that I'm going to be doing to learn a little bit more about the students. And then we also were finishing up the like bingo grid and going around that from the first day activity. So I am just super happy with how things went. That being said, what's coming up next week, we're definitely going to be getting into more of the specifics around the room. I started that today with my first hour class since we were a bit more ahead there, but then for my other students, we'll start that process. I think for me, especially with this first weekend, I've chosen not to spend much extra time at school than what was required, and so I am gonna spend a bit more time doing that over the weekend, but I'm just really excited about it all, so it makes me happy to be doing it. Whereas maybe in the past, certain parts would feel more frustrating. Again, I know it's the start of the year, I know a lot can change, but wow, like I am just loving this year, and it's such a nice feeling. Yeah, that's kind of where we're at. But I wanted to talk a little bit about helping to adjust our schedules from a summer schedule to a fall schedule, or to a school year schedule, I guess is a better way of describing it. Because when we're on summer break, obviously there's a lot of flexibility, and then kind of all of a sudden it tightens up a lot when we have a huge percentage of our day where we're working again full time. And in addition to that daily work, I think we also then are putting in time after school as well. So I've got a couple tips to kind of help do that, even though I myself am still kind of in that awkward place where I'm figuring things out with knowing what I need to prep. And today was actually our first day this week where we have like a planning time, which I was very appreciative for. The other days it was more so workshops and things, and it wasn't really a part of it. So with that being said, I think the first thing is really important to identify priorities. Obviously, since you've got way less free time during the day, you have to kind of figure out what your main priorities are. Because every time we choose something to incorporate in our schedule, it also means we're saying no to something else. For me personally, one of the things I often think about is sleep. And in the past, I've often prioritized other things over sleep. And there have been certain days where I have stayed up later. Now, it's not a matter of whether or not I can. I do stay up pretty late without much. I don't need to have caffeine or anything. But I know that, you know, it's not ideally the right choice. And so if I choose to say yes to something else, that could mean that I'm sacrificing sleep. So identifying, you know, what actually matters. As we get further into year, more so I'm thinking realistically starting around September, for me, I do want to be choosing sleep enough to the point where I go to bed at midnight, which is very early for me. And that would be really great to consistently go to bed at midnight. I wake up around 6:50, around maybe 7. So to get, you know, almost 7 hours of sleep, ideally, would be a huge positive shift for me. Like, that's not something I've done in a really long time. Likewise, even though Jake usually works late, he coaches cross country at his school. When he comes home, I love going for a walk with him. We walk about 2 miles most days, at least when it's nice out, and that's really pleasant. It usually takes about 45 minutes, but I love that time, and it's something that I'm not going to, no matter what's going on, I'm not going to replace. So identifying the priorities, because since we don't have time to do it all, if you figure out what the priorities are, that's a really great first step. Second thing to keep in mind would be if you can set up a certain routine of what you do if there's smaller tasks that can be cranked out all at once. For me, that routine, which it's going to be something that I keep building on, is with a lot of different accounts. I have 5 different email addresses, which is not ideal, but it makes sense because they all have different things. I've got my main personal email address. I've got an address for school. I've got an email address for each of my businesses, and then an email address for the website, which goes along with one of the businesses. And so each of those, yes, ideally it'd be better if it was all one email address, but that's just not how it works. You've got these different types of emails. So with all these different emails, I have built in time after school to go through them. Obviously, I'm dealing with my school email during the school day, but for the other ones, that's when I check them. It's also a chance for me to check other related accounts and take care of that stuff all at once. And then if I focus on lumping those tasks together, then ultimately it saves a lot of time later. So that's also very helpful. And my third suggestion, and this is especially if you are someone who likes to make to-do lists or lists of any kind. That is me. I loved making to-do lists and accomplishing them, but also making them. So I think if we can prioritize our tasks on the to-do list is also very important. So you deciding, your most important tasks, moderate level of important tasks, and then the tasks that aren't really important, that can be pushed off. I found with teaching and kind of thinking about the tasks for school for the next day, I oftentimes over plan and try to think about doing more than I actually can. But if you at least always make sure you're accomplishing the most important tasks, then that's gonna save you a lot of time later on, and it will still help you achieve good progress. So those would be a couple general tips I have in terms of trying to transition more positively. Also just being understanding with yourself that, hey, you know what, you're not gonna get everything done, and you're gonna do the best you can, because there's a lot of moving parts when you're a teacher during the day and then things afterwards. So that's definitely something to kind of focus on balancing. But at this time, I'm gonna focus on kind of getting things cleaned up a bit. I am actually visiting my parents on the way home from school. They live not too far away, so it's a chance for me to go visit them, and I have to drop off recycling because sadly our apartment complex does not recycle, and I just physically cannot throw away all this recyclable stuff. So I'm gonna be dropping stuff off there. So I'm about to head out. It's about 4 o'clock. I'll be heading over to visit my parents and sister. So I'll be doing that. I think this will also wrap up the vlog for the night. I know that I do vlog in the evenings often, but tonight I don't really anticipate doing a whole lot with anything school related. That will probably more so like my Saturday or Sunday during the day. So that will be something I catch you up with on Monday's vlog. But thank you so much for joining me this week. I am still pretty new at this daily vlogging thing, so if you have any feedback or suggestions, if there are certain things that you are liking or don't like or would like to see, please let me know, just because as this is going to be a 180 episode series, I suppose, if you will, I want to make sure that I'm doing the best job I can in helping you with whatever the content is. So thank you guys so much for watching, and if you want to check out any of our past vlog episodes, you can do that over here, or feel free to subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.